innocent, like you and I, the other black person on the other side of this fence, like you and me, we doing the same thing right here.
This is the world we live in. See, when I was younger, teachers used to ask kids what they wanted to be when they grew up. Some kids said famous. I was one of those kids. But now I changed my answer. The thing I want to be when I grow up is alive.
Boy, they brainwashing these kids. Boy, they brainwashing these kids. You want to be alive? And they put the police car right here. This should have been Ray Ray now. This should have been Grand Marquis on 24s with Ray Ray and Pookie them in there driving by. Then I'd agree. I would agree that you just want to be alive, because your chances of getting capped in a drive-by in Chicago, that's a high probability versus dealing with the police officers. So put Ray Ray and Pookie them here, and then I probably would agree with this one statement.
How do I know that I'm gonna make it out alive if I'm suspicious?
If you don't resist arrest, you will make it out alive 99.999% of the time.
Damn clown. What a damn clown. 907 clown. Clown.
People get mad at me and say, oh, B, you a sellout, man. You a sellout to your own race. And no, I'm telling the truth. And people don't want to hear the truth. Especially don't want to hear the truth about themselves. We black people, we got to grow. We got to heal. And not all of us, so some of us are very successful. But when you talk about communities of color, we got to start changing and allowing these young people to see an example of what you should be doing. You shouldn't be like Ray Ray that's selling dope on the corner. You should be like me. I'm an entrepreneur. I own my own business. I do all my own stuff. I've made my way independently. This is what you should be aspiring to be. Not like these rappers. They're sitting out here lying to you, selling you dreams. They're selling you dreams. Let's get into this right off the top. I'm furious about this situation, and it's not just the shooting. It's not just the shooting, mind you. This stuff happens. It's not just the shooting. It's the way the community reacts. It's the way the police chief reacts. It makes my blood boil. First and foremost, they don't put out all the information and get ahead of this incident. I don't understand. In 2019, why officers don't get ahead, why police chiefs don't get ahead of an incident like this. There is no reason in the world to release body-worn camera if you're not going to come out and make a statement. If you're just going to let the public come up with ideas. Ferguson was a perfect example. They came out with the narrative, hands up, don't shoot. Never happened. Then the police department put a haphazard body-worn camera out with a picture of guns in the room. If it doesn't apply, then why are you putting it out to the media? So they can create a frenzy? So you can throw this officer under the bus? I mean, what is your motives? And then let's move to the community, because I'm going to get into the shooting in a minute. Let's talk about the community. I haven't seen a single one of them MFs marching on the street, got hatchets, no justice, no peace, when people in the community doing the same thing. Killing people in the community, you ain't done nothing but sit on your hands because you're a coward. And all that talking about community this, community that, put a uniform on and serve your own community. And you won't do it because you're a coward. I'm sick of these people. Keep that same energy when somebody's selling dope in the community, when somebody killing another person in the community with gang violence. Not too long ago, they had 10 people shot, 3 people murdered in a gang retaliation incident. And a young woman like Tatiana, she was promising, had a future, wasn't doing nothing, got killed. And not one pastor, not nobody in the community came out and marched. No justice, no peace, not one of them. Not one of you suckers. Then the police department. Listen, I don't know who this officer's field trainer was, but these are the things you cannot do as an officer. I don't understand. Now, this is what I will say, because I don't want to talk too much about the police officers' dealings, and we don't have all the information because they won't tell the truth about what's happening. Because if an officer decided to not announce himself and their motives was to check welfare, and you don't knock on the front door, you don't say, hey, it's the Fort Worth Police Department, you are a piece of crap. You shouldn't have a badge. You shouldn't have a gun. You should be sitting at home. You have an obligation to protect and serve. You're supposed to be tactically sound. It's no reason in the world that you should make a mistake like this. They will rail you in the academy about not effing up and shooting somebody that you shouldn't shoot, because now you got everybody looking bad. What is your tactics? You don't walk in front of a window. You don't walk in front of a window, because if somebody's in the window, they're going to shoot and kill you. What is your tactics? You shouldn't be at home playing video games, thinking you're cool at the club. Your focus and priority as a police officer, as a young, new officer, is for you to know what the heck you're doing. You should know what you're doing. You should run these scenarios in your mind so you don't kill people that you shouldn't kill. Now, I'll say this. He resigned. They said he's not cooperating with the police department. There's two things that come to my mind. One, he's a piece of crap. Two, the police department is trying to throw him under the bus. And he said, F you. F y'all. Because I'm going to tell you this. That woman better not have had a gun in her hand. She better not have had a gun in her hand and pointed it at this officer. That can't be the truth. That can't be what happened. No way. There's no way she pointed a gun at him and they charged him with murder. There's no way. It better not be the case. I better not wake up in the morning and hear that the lady actually pointed a gun at this officer. I better not hear. I'm telling you right now, I better not hear that BS in the morning, or I'm going to lose my wig. I better hear that the lady was innocent. She was sitting, she was innocent to start with. I'm saying she was innocently sitting there and she happened to look out the window and get shot. That better be what happened. And that officer better be charged, which he is. He better be convicted. And you can pay the family out for a wrongful death. Anything other than that, I'm going to be livid. Because there is a tradition in America today of throwing police officers under the bus. They will F you with no permission. They don't care about you. They throw you under the bus and they back over you. For the police chief of Fort Worth, the interim chief, you spineless POS. I'm going after everybody tonight. You spineless POS. You get up there and say, well, I understand why the department the community don't have trust. What are you talking about? The community don't have trust when 99.9% of the police interactions with the community are positive. One-off, once a year, once every 2 years, and you want to say you understand why the community don't support the police department and have issues with the police department. Who do you think was protecting and serving every day? The same people that's out there protesting. Don't make me get mad. Y'all gonna make me lose myself. I'm gonna lose my salvation because it's not okay. It is not okay for police chiefs to be cowards. Easy to sit behind the badge and point the finger because that's what everybody want to hear you say. That police chief should have came out and said, I understand that the community is upset about this incident, not with the integrity of the Fort Worth Police Department. Because 99.9% of the time, when we go to calls, we do it with respect, we do it with integrity, and we have elite training. This officer did not follow training. He didn't do what he's supposed to do. He effed up. We're going to hold him accountable. But our department is sound. We hold people accountable, and we're the greatest police department in Texas. And if the community have an issue with one officer, we understand. But to not have trust in a complete police department that's doing investigations on rape, domestic violence, pedophilia, all these different things that the police department do investigations on a day-to-day basis to put the people that offend you behind bars. All the training we do, all the money we spend, all the officers that have died in the line of duty, and you don't respect the police department, you kiss my behind. One case, I understand. One situation, I understand. This has nothing to do with Amber Geiger. This has nothing to do with Michael Brown. This is our department, and it's what we need to address, period. That's what a police chief with a backbone should be saying. Not walking around with his head between his legs with white guilt. I know I understand. I understand. You just saying what you want them to, what they want to hear. You don't mean it. You don't care. I'm losing it. I'm about to lose my mind on these people. Let me get to a few super chats because I'm infuriated by some of this stuff I see. Oh, it's definitely the Good Old Boys Club. Let's see. Love, 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 more love. Thanks. Champ, truth, more truth. I appreciate it, Brandon Raymond, for the super chat. Let's see. Officer Lou, 17 people killed in Baltimore over the weekend, including a 2-year-old. Where's the energy? Exactly. Shake my head. It's infuriating. I swear to God, y'all, God is my witness as sure as I'm on this live stream. I'm sick and tired of these fake activists. I can't stand y'all. Y'all are the POSs of the community. You ain't no better than an officer shooting somebody unjustly. You ain't no better. Y'all are failing us. Our leadership is failing us because you only get pub, you only get GoFundMe, you only get love from the community leaders when you're killed by a police officer. But when Ray run by and shoot the whole house up and your kid get hit in the head, they ain't even coming on the news to talk about your kid. They ain't putting on a shirt. They're not talking on the news. They're not running through the streets with hatchets, protesting, no justice, no peace. These MFers are literally walking by every drug dealer in the community as they protest this police incident. They walk by every person in the community that's abusing their kids and doing all this BS as they protest the police department. I grew up in Fort Worth. I remember several people getting justifiably shot. They out here protesting, walking past the drug dealers, walking past the prostitutes and pimps. They walking past the gang members to protest a justified incident. And you think that the public's supposed to be how you think we're going to grow? And for all you people out here talking about Brandon he always talking about black people. We are the only community that does this. I feel like when the white person get killed unjustly, they let the court do its course, and if the person get off, they go through the proper channels. The person, 9 times out of 10, an officer kills somebody they shouldn't, they get charged. 9 times out of 10. Just because you don't have any awareness and you don't know the law, don't mean that the officer was unjust or let off and no justice was served because you don't know the law. I'm telling y'all right now, I don't care what the circumstance is. If she pulled a gun on that officer in the window, you can forget about him getting charged with anything or convicted. He could be charged but convicted. How do I send money through PayPal? I got a PayPal link if you want to. I appreciate it. Excitable 101. Thanks so much for modding the show tonight. I'm just saying, man. We give too much attention to this stuff. We give too much of our heart and energy to this stuff. When this happens once every blue moon, where an officer, I'm talking about, listen, go city by city. I'm not talking about nationwide. I'm city by city. How many times have an officer unjustly shot a person in Fort Worth, Texas? I could go look it up right now. In the last year, this is probably the only unjustified shooting in this year, if it is determined to be unjustified. This will be the only one this year. And I could tell you 3 people that got murdered in gang violence just not too long ago because I put the article in my last video. Oh, come on, ladies and gentlemen, come on. They sit up here and they cry and they bicker and they do all this stuff, but they don't really care about the community. They just talking. The police chief, the police department want to play politics and want to play political correctness. They throw their officers under the bus and they don't address the public. The interim police chief, bro, just like Jared Williams out here in Phoenix, cowards. They want to tell the public what they want to hear. Oh, this is terrible. This is the worst thing I ever heard. Our officers need new training. This is not a reflection of our police department. We need it. No, it's not. No, hold on. You telling me somebody robbing a store, taking police on a high-speed chase, and the officer gets upset? Now this is all wrong. No. What about what they did? This is the thing that kills me about police.
Shut the hell up, you dumb nigga! Shut up! Shut the hell up, you dumb nigga!